I'm Tug. I'm redoing a video that I did previously this morning, and I was not very happy with it for a number of reasons I won't go into. But anyway, this is the second cut of an attempt to make a tutorial about packing your camera gear. And I'm a hunter, and I do photography. That's my primary interest. And videography is something that goes hand in hand with hunting and videoing my hunting, which I thoroughly enjoy, but I really get more out of the photography. But when I travel, I have a lot of gear. I have DSLR gear, video gear, and hunting gear, and then your personal items, which I don't take very many of. Uh, some of the equipment I use is the Pelican cases. This is a 1650, and it's a check-in bag. It's heavy, it's overweight. I always have to pay for that. My luggage bag, which is a hunter's luggage bag, which I put a Lone Wolf climbing stand in the bottom of, which is 10 pounds right off the bat. But it's the lightest climber stand you can get. Along with my camo and gear, it's usually overweight. Another check-in bag is a Pelican 1510, and I carry my video camera. It's a Sony NX5 in it, amongst some other stuff. Some of the other stuff I use, it might be a little geeky to some people and out of date. I don't care. But when I'm traveling, I wear a photographer's vest because it has loads of pockets. It has pockets inside of pockets, and I can put all kinds of stuff that I need in those pockets, whether it be for photography or your passport or whatever. I use DSLR cameras, Nikons, all professional stuff. I use this Low Pro bag. Everything I have is compatible and bifunctional. I keep my straps on the outside. I can put 2 DSLR bodies, 5 lenses, flash, cables, charger. I keep a flashlight in here, a little small tactical flashlight. You can put your laptop in here and or iPad, which I carry both. I try to maintain redundancy. One thing I do is I buy these little small master padlocks, and I just put them through the loop so that I can sleep peacefully on the plane. There's about $10,000 in this bag, and that little lock, yeah, you can cut it, but you have to cut it to open it. You can't just open it and slide something out and make it easy for somebody. In this larger case, I carry my tripods, a slider, your cables. I carry some 2-way radios. They're cheap. I do take the batteries out and leave them behind. Why? Because of the weight. Everything I do, I keep in mind how much does it weigh. And these weigh about 1/3 of the weight without the batteries. Some little bit of power supply. A reflector, which I don't use much, but it doesn't weigh anything. It doesn't weigh but some ounces. And just in case you need it. Headphones, I always have 2 or 3 of them. Some weather gear for your camera gear. Cables, that kind of stuff goes in this case. I use a SKB double bow case, carry 2 bows, a couple fishing rods. Fill all the empty spaces with something. It's always overweight, it's oversized anyway, you have to pay for it. I carry some wireless mics, which I put in this Low Pro bag when I get on a plane. GoPros, I always have 3 or 4 or 5 GoPros. Some people might think that's excessive, but I put 2 on my bow. You might want to mount one on a tree, that kind of thing. I carry a GPS for a car, not a handheld, because you wouldn't believe how many times this will save your butt. You're running out of time, you got to go get somewhere, you don't know where it is, the clock is ticking or whatever. Great thing to have. I carry this, I got for my birthday years ago. It's a Kodak Sport camera. It takes really good pictures, and the main main reason I carry it is because it's so small, and I can pull it out and take a little picture without getting out a DSLR. And I also use it for a card reader. You can just put a card in it, plug it up, and there you go. Some of the other things I do is, this is my iMac, and unfortunately I bought the largest iMac that you could buy, and I bought the one where the stand wouldn't come off, which was a mistake. If the stand would come off, the monitor would actually go in this case, and it doesn't because the stand will not come off. So I have to mail it, and that's something that when I add another computer, I will get the monitor that the stand comes off so it will go in this case. I mail it, but I take the keyboard, the mouse, and all that, and I put it in this case. I do not mail it with the monitor. Not because of the weight, because if it gets lost or stolen, they cannot use it. It is absolutely worthless without that. It will not work. You can cut it on, but you know, I take the cord actually and put it in there too, so they'd have to go get a cord. It makes that stealing it or whatever just not even worth it. Those are some of the things I do just to make my life a little bit easier. There's some things you can't avoid, and unfortunately, the last time I got on a plane, I was the most pissed off I ever been. It was Delta Airlines, and not only they get you for over $1,000 for the ticket, international, they got me for $1,000 for my luggage, and it's because I was maxed out on luggage with 4 cases. They were all overweight except one. I took just to keep in mind, this is 1 pound. A pair of jeans is 1 pound. For a fat person it's 5, but for me it's 1. So I think about everything that I take. Is it necessary? Do I have to have this? I carry some things, you know, this is my lucky little thing I put around my neck when I'm hunting. It doesn't weigh anything. It don't really take. Matter of fact, I use it to wrap stuff up in when I'm not hunting. A few hats. Of course, you got to have a couple pair of boots. Try to pack redundantly, where if something happens to a case or a bag, you can still function. You can still do your job. You can still hunt. You can still photograph. You can still video. That's why this stuff right here goes on the plane with me. This is a carry-on bag, and this even though this is a camera case, it's a backpack that doesn't look like a camera case, and it's considered a personal item. That's my personal item. To me, they're all personal items, but this is a carry-on, and that's a personal item. I like to keep my cameras with me. When I'm going through the airport, I pack these away. I take the lens off and pack it away, because you've already got too much to do. You got to take off your boots and your belt and all this junk, and just to get through security. And it's something that I'm very. I watch my stuff as it goes through my camera cases, and I make sure when it gets to the other end, I'm right behind it. And they always search this. They don't always search this Pelican, but they always search this carry-on because of what's in it. Because there's so much stuff in it. If it's packed and cluttered and they can't really see it good on the X-ray, they're going to search it, especially if you're a man, and especially if you're a man with tattoos. I travel all the time. I have all my life, and probably 8 out of 10 times I get searched in some kind of way. Normally it's just a go through your back. One time I had all my optics in my backpack. I had my scope, binoculars, rangefinder, and all that kind of stuff in my backpack. Plus I had a pistol holster on my belt. And of course, when they asked me why I had this pistol holster on, I said it's because when I get where I'm going, there will be a pistol in it. And they said, well, where's the gun? I said, well, it doesn't matter. It's not here. So it's a piece of leather, and it's leather. It's a Galco. It's not like you're going to harm anybody with it. But I'm kind of a rebellious person, so that kind of just goes hand in hand. But if you're a male, you got tattoos, and you've got a lot of gear that they don't really see as being a tourist, they're gonna search you. They want to know what you're up to, and I doubt you're gonna harm anybody with the DSLR camera. You could beat somebody to death with it, really. I guess you could, but you're not gonna shoot anybody in that kind of way with the DSLR. So anyway, that's just some of my gear. Of course, I'm taking back some stuff that I left here before. Some mini DVDs I took years ago, and some other stuff you can carry yourself. Carry some zip ties. I always carry a bunch of zip ties of different sizes. I've got some real small ones that I use for cables, and then having zip ties just to stick through here, I carry the little 6-inch ones just to go through there. Right before it gets loaded, I put a zip tie on it, and this one too, on the plane, because I do not want somebody to open that to get in that overhead bin while I'm asleep, hopefully asleep, and open my case. And I've actually had it happen before where a guy sat 2 or 3 seats up from me and had the exact same case, and that made me a little nervous because I didn't want him picking up my case by accident. So, and some other things you can not do is don't ever label your cases, like your Pelican cases. Don't put something photography on it. Don't put video equipment, fragile, handle with care, audio equipment. Don't ever put something like that on it. All that's doing is saying, please steal me. Please, when it comes through the carousel, there are people there waiting to steal your stuff. There's people there that's what they do. Luckily, I've had one piece of luggage get lost, and I never saw it again. It was full of clothes, and that's all. And that was years ago. Never ever label your stuff, even stickers on it, which I have all over my my bow case. And what I did was, I got travel stickers and guitar stickers and hunting stickers. And they don't really know what's in it, and that's a good thing. It's a little bit of camouflage. Anyway, I hope that helps with your packing. And this time I'm gonna make sure, I think I've covered all the bases that I wanted to cover and how I do it. But even though I'm maxed out on the number of bags, I got 4 check-in bags, which is the limit. I always pay for that. And just remember, when you're traveling and you're doing something like this, you will pay extra going and coming. You will pay both directions. I have $1,000 in getting it here, and I will have that going back, plus my 2 bags of carry-on. Gotta go later.